Hello, dreamer. It's time for a cozy bedtime story. This story is called Zara, the wolf who found her howl. Deep in an ancient forest where the moonlight filtered through tall, swaying trees, lived a wolf named Zara. Her coat shimmered with shades of silver and charcoal, and her piercing green eyes seemed to reflect the depth of the forest itself. Zara was part of a proud and strong pack, but unlike the others, she rarely raised her voice in the nightly chorus. The wolves of her pack howled together under the moon, their voices weaving a song of connection and strength. But Zara stayed silent. She doubted her howl, worried it wouldn't be as powerful or beautiful as the others. Instead, she lingered at the edges of the circle, listening but never joining in. One evening, as the pack's howls filled the air, the alpha wolf, a regal figure named Thorn, approached Zara. His amber eyes held no judgment, only curiosity. "Zara," he said, his voice low and steady, "why do you not howl with us?" Zara lowered her gaze. "My howl is small," she said softly. "I don't think it will matter." Thorn tilted his head, his expression thoughtful. "Every voice matters, Zara. A pack's strength isn't in the loudest howl, but in the harmony of all our voices together." Zara nodded politely, but couldn't shake her doubts. She thanked Thorn and slipped into the shadows of the forest, her heart heavy with uncertainty. That night, Zara wandered farther than usual, her paws crunching softly on the forest floor. The air was cool, and the trees whispered in the breeze. She found herself at a quiet clearing where the moon shone brighter than ever, its glow spilling over the land like silver silk. As Zara gazed at the moon, a soft breeze stirred the leaves, carrying a faint whisper. "Your howl awaits. Find it in the mountains." Zara's ears perked up, her heart quickening. The whisper seemed to come from the distant peaks on the horizon, their jagged edges crowned with mist. Something about the mountains called to her, a quiet but insistent pull that she couldn't ignore. Taking a deep breath, Zara lifted her head. "I will go," she said, her voice steady. "I will find my howl." The journey to the mountains was long and filled with challenges. Zara left the familiar comfort of her pack's territory, crossing open meadows and dense forests, following the moon's light and the pull in her heart. One day, as she passed a tranquil glade, she encountered a stag with antlers that seemed to cradle the stars. The stag stood tall and regal, and his eyes were deep with wisdom. "Where are you headed, young wolf?" the stag asked, his voice calm. "To the mountains," Zara replied. "I'm searching for my howl." The stag nodded, his gaze softening. "The mountains hold many lessons, but your howl is not there. It's within you. Trust in the journey, and you will uncover it. Zara thanked the stag and continued on, his words echoing in her mind. She wondered how her Howl could be inside her when she had never felt it before. As Zara drew closer to the mountains, the path grew more treacherous. The forest thickened, the trees towering and close-knit, their branches forming a dense canopy that blocked the moonlight. The air grew cooler, and the silence of the woods pressed heavily around her. She reached a rocky clearing where a swift river roared through the forest, its waters cutting deep into the earth. Zara hesitated at the edge, her doubt creeping in like a shadow. "You doubt yourself," a voice called. Zara turned to see a fox sitting on a nearby rock, its russet coat gleaming faintly in the moonlight. "I don't know if I'm strong enough," Zara admitted. "The river is fast, and I'm not sure I can cross." The fox's amber eyes glistened. "Strength isn't about knowing you'll succeed. It's about taking the step despite the doubt. Trust your paw, Zara. The river only flows. It's not to judge." Encouraged, Zara stepped into the rushing water. It was cold and powerful. She moved carefully, placing each paw with purpose. When she reached the other side, she felt a surge of pride and courage she had never known before. At last, Zara reached the base of the tallest mountain. The air here was crisp and thin, and the world stretched out before her, vast and breathtaking. She climbed slowly, her muscles aching, but her heart full of determination. When she reached the summit, the view stole her breath. The stars above seemed closer, their light spilling over the land in soft hues of silver and blue. The moon hung low, casting a glow over the rocky peak. Zara stood at the edge, the wind brushing through her fur, and gazed at the sky. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, but the doubt returned. What if my voice isn't enough?" she whispered. The wind seemed to answer, wrapping her like an embrace. "Shoo! Your voice is part of the song. Without it, the melody is incomplete." Zara opened her eyes, her heart steady. She lifted her head and let out a howl. "Howl!" It began soft, tentative, but as she poured her heart into it, it grew stronger, clear, and more beautiful. "Howl!" The mountains echoed her call, amplifying it until it filled the sky. For the first time, Zara felt the power of her voice, the way it resonated with the world around her. She was not silent. She was part of something greater. When Zara returned to her pack, the wolves gathered under the full moon. Thorn stood in the center, his gaze warm. "Zara," he said, "will you be joining us tonight?" This time, Zara stepped forward. She raised her head, her green eyes shining, and howled. "Howl!" Her voice blended with the others, weaving into the pack song like a missing thread. wasn't the loudest or the strongest, but it was hers, and it mattered. The pack's howls rose into the night, filling the forest with a song of unity and strength. Zara stood tall, her heart full, knowing she had found her place. Zara's journey reminds us that strength isn't about being the loudest. It's about having the courage to share your voice, no matter how small it may seem. Every voice matters, and together we create something greater than ourselves. As you rest tonight, dear dreamer, remember that your voice is a gift, and the world is brighter because of it. Good night, and may your dreams carry the courage